They were speaking Korean. I wasn't supposed to understand, but I did. Every single word. The triplet alphas at table 7 didn't know that the pathetic little Omega waiter they were mocking in their ancient tongue was the same hidden Luna who'd burned down half of Seoul's underground 3 years ago. They didn't know I could hear them. They didn't know I spoke it. And they sure as hell didn't know what I was capable of when someone made the mistake of underestimating me. My name is Park Mila, and tonight I was about to remind 3 arrogant Mafia princes why you should never humiliate someone whose scent you can't even read. The crystal wine glass shattered against the marble floor 2 feet from my shoes. I didn't flinch. I should have. Any other Omega would have dropped to their knees, neck bared, apologies spilling out like blood from a wound. But I wasn't any other Omega. I was a ghost. At least that's what I'd been for the last 3 years, ever since I faked my death and fled Seoul with nothing but a duffel bag, a fake ID, and a curse I still didn't know how to control. Telekinesis. That's what they called it when I moved things with my mind, when I could shatter bones without lifting a finger, when I could stop a bullet midair if I was angry enough. It was also the reason my former pack had tried to kill me. Because an Omega with power? That's not a miracle. That's a threat. The restaurant was called Luminaire, one of those stupidly expensive places in downtown Boston where the silverware cost more than my rent, and the waitstaff wore tailored black uniforms that made us look like we were attending a funeral, which, honestly, felt about right. I'd been working here for 6 months, long enough to perfect my smile, long enough to memorize every corner, every exit, every camera blind spot, long enough to forget what it felt like to be seen, until tonight. Clean it up. The voice was smooth, cold, laced with the kind of arrogance that only came from a lifetime of never hearing the word no. I looked up. 3 of them, identical faces, sharp jawlines, dark eyes that tracked me like I was prey. They sat in the private corner booth beneath the chandelier, dressed in black suits that screamed money, power, and violence. Triplet alphas. And not just any alphas. I knew those faces. I'd seen them before, on wanted posters, on whispered rumors that circulated through the pack networks, in the shadows of my nightmares. The Park heirs, Boston's most dangerous mafia family, and they were Korean. Oh, hell, the one in the middle, the leader, obviously, leaned back in his seat, fingers drumming against the table. His scent hit me like a freight train. Smoke, leather, something sharp and predatory that made my hindbrain scream run. But I didn't run. I crouched down and started picking up glass. Just get through this shift, Mila. Head down. Survive. That's when I heard it. Look at him. Thinks he's invisible. My hand froze. The second brother, slightly softer features but just as deadly, laughed under his breath. Probably can't even understand us. Pathetic. The third one, the quiet one with the scar along his jaw, didn't laugh. He just stared at me. His sense off, like it's been scrubbed, suppressed. My heart slammed against my ribs. They noticed. No one ever noticed. I kept my face blank, kept my hands steady as I placed the shards onto my tray, kept my breathing even. But inside, I wanted to rip the table in half. I wanted to shove every word back down their throats until they choked on their own arrogance. But I couldn't, because the second I used my power, the second I let my real scent slip, the second I gave them any reason to look closer, I was dead. The middle one, I'd heard someone call him Park Ji-won earlier, tilted his head, watching me with the kind of cold curiosity you'd give a bug before stepping on it. Do you think he knows how to speak? Or is he just here to look pretty and clean up our messes? The other 2 smirked, and something inside me snapped. I stood, slowly. Tray balanced in one hand, expression perfectly blank. And then I looked Park Ji-won dead in the eyes and said, in flawless, cutting Korean, I think he knows exactly how to speak. And I think you should be more careful about what you say when you assume no one's listening. The room went silent, not just our corner, the entire restaurant. Ji-won's eyes widened, just for a second. Then his expression shifted into something darker, something dangerous. The second brother leaned forward, lips curling into a slow, predatory smile. Well, well, the little Omega has teeth. The third one, the quiet one, didn't smile. He just kept staring at me, like he was trying to peel back my skin and see what I was hiding underneath. What's your name? I shouldn't answer. I should walk away, apologize, disappear into the kitchen and never come back. But I was so tired of being invisible, so I smiled. Sweet, poisonous. Mila, and your wine? It's on the house. I turned on my heel and walked away before they could respond. I made it 3 steps before I felt it. The pull, like a hook buried in my chest, yanking me backward. My breath hitched. No, not now. Not them. Because I knew what that pull meant. I'd felt it once before, 3 years ago, right before everything fell apart. It was a bond. A mate bond. And it wasn't coming from one of them. It was coming from all 3. I kept walking, 1 foot in front of the other, tray clutched so tight my knuckles went white. The kitchen door was 20 feet away. 15, 10, almost there, almost safe. But the pull didn't stop. It tightened, like invisible fingers wrapping around my spine, tugging me back toward that table, toward them. My chest ached with it, a pressure building behind my ribs that felt like drowning and burning at the same time. No. This can't be happening. Mate bonds don't just appear, they're supposed to be gradual. A slow recognition, a choice. Not this violent, suffocating certainty slamming into me like a freight train. And definitely not with 3 alphas at once. I shoved through the kitchen door and it swung shut behind me with a metallic clang. The noise, the heat, the controlled chaos of dinner rush. It should have grounded me. It didn't. My hands were shaking. Mila, you good? I blinked. Carlos, one of the line cooks, was staring at me, concern creasing his face. He had flour on his cheek and a spatula in one hand. I forced a smile. Yeah, just some asshole alphas at table 7. You know how it is. Carlos snorted. Want me to spit in their dessert? Tempting. But I need this job. Your funeral. He turned back to the stove, and I stood there, frozen, because the pull was still there. Fainter now, muted by the door, but there, like a heartbeat I couldn't ignore. I didn't go back out. I told Marcus, the floor manager, I needed 5 minutes. He gave me a look but didn't argue. Probably saw the panic I was trying to bury. I locked myself in the staff bathroom, leaned against the sink, stared at my reflection. Pale skin, dark circles under my eyes, hair tied back in a messy knot. I looked exactly like what I was pretending to be, a nobody, a broke college dropout working doubles to pay rent on a shoebox apartment in Alston. Not a Luna, not a telekinetic freak, not someone who'd once stood in front of a council of alphas and told them they could go fuck themselves. Not someone who'd killed his own packmate to escape. I turned on the faucet, splashed cold water on my face, tried to breathe. You're fine, you're safe. They don't know who you are. But my body didn't believe me. Because under the cheap soap and the scent blockers I'd been using for 3 years, I could feel it. My real scent. Trying to claw its way to the surface. Mate bonds did that. They wanted to be recognized. They burned through suppressants like acid through paper, and if my scent slipped, if they smelled what I really was, I was dead. Someone knocked on the door. Mila, you got customers waiting. Marcus, impatient. Coming. I straightened, fixed my shirt, checked my reflection one more time. You've survived worse than this. You can handle 3 arrogant alphas with god complexes, even if they're your fated mates. I unlocked the door and walked back into the fire. Table 7 was still occupied. Of course it was. They weren't the type to leave just because some Omega embarrassed them. Number, they were the type to stay, to watch, to wait, to figure out what the hell I was. I grabbed the dessert tray from the pass, chocolate souffle, creme brulee, some overpriced berry tart that cost $40. My manager gave me a pointed look. You sure you're okay to take that table? Why wouldn't I be? Because you just told 3 of the Park brothers to go screw themselves in Korean. I blinked. Wait, you know who they are? Marcus looked at me like I was an idiot. Everyone knows who they are, Mila. Park Ji-won, Park Tae-jin, Park Han-ul. They own half of Boston's South End. Their family's been running this city since before we were born. Oh, perfect. Not only were they Mafia royalty, they were local Mafia royalty, which meant if they wanted to make me disappear, no one would even ask questions. I picked up the tray. I'll be fine. Marcus didn't look convinced, but he let me go. I walked back into the dining room. The pull hit me instantly, stronger now. Like a hook buried in my chest, dragging me forward. My feet wanted to move faster. My body wanted to run to them. I forced myself to walk slowly, calmly, like I wasn't unraveling from the inside out. Table 7. They were still there, all three of them watching me. Ji-won, the middle one, leaned back in his seat, arms crossed, expression unreadable. Tae-jin, the second, had his chin propped on one hand, smiling. Like this was the most entertaining thing that had happened to him all week. And Han-ul, the quiet one. He wasn't smiling. He was just staring, like he could see straight through me. I set the desserts down, one in front of each of them. Didn't meet their eyes, didn't say a word. I turned to leave. Wait, Ji-won's voice, soft, commanding. I stopped. Don't turn around. Don't give him the satisfaction. But my body betrayed me. I turned. He was looking at me, really looking. And for the first time since I walked into this restaurant 6 months ago, I felt seen. Not as a waiter, not as an omega, as me, whatever the hell that meant anymore. You speak Korean. It wasn't a question. I shrugged. I speak a lot of things. Tae-jin laughed, soft, surprised. Where'd you learn it? I could have lied, should have lied, but I was tired and reckless. And something about the way Han-ul was still staring at me made me want to see what would happen if I pushed back. So I smiled. Seoul, before I died. The air went still. Ji-won's eyes narrowed. Tae-jin stopped smiling. And Han-ul stood up, slowly. His scent hit me like a tidal wave. Cedar, rain, something wild and electric that made my knees weak. He took one step toward me, then another, until he was close enough that I had to tilt my head back to meet his eyes. What's your full name? I should have run, should have turned around and never looked back. But I didn't. I looked him dead in the eyes and said the one thing I swore I'd never say again. Park Mila, former Luna of the Silvercrest Pack. And the Omega your family tried to kill 3 years ago. Silence. Complete. Devastating. Silence. And then the bond snapped. All three of them. At once. I felt it like lightning in my veins. Like my soul had just been ripped open and stitched to theirs. And from the look on their faces, they felt it too. Han-ul's hand shot out and grabbed my wrist before I could move. His grip was firm, not painful, but absolute. Like he thought I might vanish if he let go. Maybe I would. His skin against mine sent sparks racing up my arm. Electric, undeniable, the bond humming between us like a live wire. Let go. He didn't. His eyes searched mine, desperate, confused, like he was trying to solve a puzzle that didn't make sense. You're dead. The reports said you were dead. Yeah, well, reports lie. Ji-won stood now too, slower than his brother, more controlled. But I could see it in the tension of his jaw, the way his hands flexed at his sides. He felt it, the pull, the bond. Silvercrest Pack, Seoul, 3 years ago. He said it like he was flipping through a mental file. There was a fire, an Omega died. They said it was an accident. They lied about that too. Tae-jin was the only one still sitting, but his smile was gone, replaced by something harder, something that looked almost like hurt. Why would your own pack try to kill you? I yanked my wrist free from Han-ul's grip, stepped back, put distance between us even though every cell in my body screamed at me to get closer. Because I was an Omega who could do this. I flicked my fingers. The salt shaker on their table shot into the air, hovered, rotated slowly, then dropped back down with a soft clink. All three of them stared. Not at the salt shaker, at me. Telekinesis, in an Omega, in a Luna. That's not a gift, that's a threat. So they decided to handle it the old-fashioned way, with fire and a funeral no one actually attended. Hanul took a step toward me. I took a step back. Don't! He froze. But his eyes, God, his eyes. They were pleading. Broken. You're our mate. 3 words. Simple. Devastating. I laughed. It came out wrong. Too high, too sharp. No, I'm not doing this. Jiwon's voice cut through the air like a blade. You felt it. Don't lie. Of course I felt it. But that doesn't mean I'm doing anything about it. You're Park heirs. Your family owns half this city. You think I don't know what that means? Taejin stood now, slowly, like he was approaching a wounded animal. It means we can protect you. Protect me? From who? From you? Your family has ties to every major pack on the East Coast, including Silvercrest, the same pack that tried to burn me alive. So forgive me if I don't throw myself into your arms just because biology says we're supposed to fit together. Silence. Heavy, suffocating. Hanul's jaw tightened. Jiwon's eyes went cold. And Taejin just looked sad. We didn't know. Yeah, well, now you do. I turned to walk away, again, but this time Jiwon's voice stopped me. If you walk out that door, we will follow you. I looked back, met his eyes. Is that a threat? That's a promise. You're our mate, Park Mila, whether you accept it or not, and we don't abandon what's ours. I'm not a possession. Hanul stepped forward again. This time I didn't move. No, you're not. You're our mate. There's a difference. The bond pulsed between us, insistent, aching. My body wanted to lean into him. My heart wanted to believe him. But my brain remembered what trust cost the last time. I need to get back to work. My voice came out steadier than I felt. Jiwon didn't move. You're not working here anymore. I blinked. Excuse me? You just told us you're a wanted Omega with telekinetic abilities, who faked your death to escape a pack that tried to murder you. You think we're letting you serve drinks to entitled alphas in a public restaurant? You don't get to let me do anything. Taejin sighed, ran a hand through his hair. He's going to be difficult, isn't he? Hanul almost smiled. Good. I stared at them. These 3 identical faces. These 3 alphas who smelled like home and danger and everything I'd been running from. I don't know you. I don't trust you. And I'm definitely not going anywhere with you. Jiwon tilted his head. Then what do you suggest? I hadn't thought that far ahead. My plan had been survive the shift, go home, panic in private. Not this. Not a mate bond with 3 Mafia alphas who apparently thought they could just claim me like a lost package. I suggest you finish your dessert, pay your bill, and pretend this never happened. I've been invisible for 3 years. I can stay invisible. Hanul's expression darkened. Not anymore. Your scent is breaking through. We can smell it. Which means others will too. And no. I'd been so careful, so precise with my suppressants, my routine. But mate bonds burn through suppressants like paper. I knew that. I just didn't want to believe it. How long do I have? Taejin glanced at his brothers, then back at me. Hours, maybe less. If Silvercrest has anyone in Boston, they'll know you're alive by morning. My knees went weak. I grabbed the back of a chair to steady myself. I can't go back there. Hanul moved closer. This time, I didn't stop him. You won't. Come with us, just for tonight. Let us figure this out. And then what? You hand me over to the highest bidder? Use me as leverage against Silvercrest? His expression shifted. Hurt. Genuine hurt. We would never. You're our mate, Mila. That means something to us. Even if it doesn't mean anything to you, yet. I wanted to argue, wanted to run, wanted to do literally anything, except trust 3 alphas I'd known for less than an hour. But the bond was screaming at me. And my instincts, the ones I'd been ignoring for 3 years, were telling me the same thing. They're safe. They're yours. They won't hurt you. I closed my eyes. took a breath, and made the worst decision of my life. Fine, one night. But if you try anything, I'll shove a car through your chest with my mind. Taejin grinned. I like him. Jiwon's lips twitched, almost a smile. Of course you do. Hanul just kept staring at me like he still couldn't believe I was real. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. I turned toward the kitchen. I need to grab my stuff and quit again. Try not to start a gang war while I'm gone. I heard Taejin laugh as I walked away. And despite everything, despite the terror and the bond and the absolute insanity of what I'd just agreed to, I felt the corner of my mouth twitch. Yeah, I was definitely going to regret this. The kitchen door swung shut behind me and I leaned against it for exactly 3 seconds before Marcus appeared out of nowhere like a very stressed ghost. Please tell me you didn't just quit on the spot to leave with the Park brothers. I grabbed my apron strings and started untying them. Okay, I won't tell you that. Marcus, I'm sorry. I know this is awful timing, but I really need to go, and I can't exactly explain why without sounding completely insane. He stared at me, then at the dining room, then back at me. Mila, those men are dangerous. Yeah, well, so am I. I shoved the apron into his hands, grabbed my backpack from the employee lockers, checked inside, phone, wallet, keys, the little bottle of suppressants that were apparently useless now. Great. Marcus followed me. I'm serious. The Park family doesn't just date people, they own people, control people. I stopped, turned to face him. I know, but I don't have a choice right now. Trust me, if I did, I wouldn't be doing this. His expression shifted, concern melting into something closer to fear. Are you in trouble? I could have lied, should have lied, but Marcus had covered for me more times than I could count. Let me take extra shifts when rent was due. Pretended not to notice when I showed up with bruises I couldn't explain. He deserves something close to the truth. Yeah, I am. But maybe they can help. Or maybe they'll make it worse. I don't know yet. Either way, I have to go. Marcus's jaw tightened. Then he sighed, pulled out his phone, started typing. I'm putting you down as a family emergency. 2 weeks personal leave. Marcus, you don't have to. Yes, I do. He looked up. Because if you survive whatever this is, you're coming back. And I'm not letting corporate fire you for abandoning your shift. Something warm and painful twisted in my chest. Thank you. He nodded. Don't die. I'll try my best. I walked back out into the dining room. The 3 of them were still at the table, waiting, like they'd known I'd come back. Arrogant bastards. Jiwon stood as I approached, smooth, controlled, like he'd been trained his entire life to move with that kind of lethal grace. Ready? As I'll ever be. Taejin grinned, tossed a black credit card on the table. Marcus can close out the tab, add a 50% tip. I blinked. That's like a $300 tip. You gave good service. And you're ours now. We take care of what's ours. I'm not a pet. Anil stepped closer, his scent wrapped around me, cedar, rain. No, you're much more important than that. My breath caught. The bond pulsed, insistent. Stop doing that. Stop making me want to believe you. They led me out through the front entrance. Not the employee exit, the front. Like I wasn't wearing a waiter's uniform and sneakers held together with duct tape. Like I belonged with them. Every eye in the restaurant followed us. I kept my chin up, ignored the stares, but my hands were shaking. Breathe, just breathe. Outside the air was cold. October in Boston. The kind of cold that cut through your jacket and settled in your bones. A black SUV was waiting at the curb, sleek, expensive, tinted windows. Of course. Because nothing says, I'm definitely not in the Mafia, like a vehicle that screams, we have bodies in the trunk. The back door opened. Hunrul gestured. After you. Where exactly are we going? Jiwon answered. Somewhere safe. That's not an answer. Taejin leaned against the car, smiled. You said one night. We're taking you somewhere you can sleep without worrying about Silvercrest tracking you down. Unless you'd rather go back to your apartment and hope for the best. I hated that he had a point. My apartment was a fourth-floor walk-up with locks that barely worked and neighbors who wouldn't notice if I disappeared. If Silvercrest really did have people in Boston, I wouldn't last the night. Fine. I climbed into the SUV. The interior was leather. Heated seats, smelled like expensive cologne and something else. Them. All three of them. My hindbrain purred. Ah, traitor. Hanul slid in beside me. Jiwon took the front passenger seat. Taejin climbed into the driver's side. The doors locked with a soft click. I can still get out, right? Taejin caught my eyes in the rearview mirror. Technically, yes. But I wouldn't recommend it while we're moving. The engine purred to life. We pulled away from the curb. I sat stiffly. Backpack clutched in my lap. Hanul was too close, his shoulder almost touching mine, his scent everywhere. The bond hummed between us. You can relax. I'm fine. You're terrified. I just got into a car with 3 strange alphas who happen to be my fated mates and also probably criminals. Forgive me for not being zen about it. Taejin laughed from the front seat. I really do like him. Jiwon's voice was dry. We established that already. I looked out the window, watched the city slide past. Downtown Boston, the Common, Beacon Hill. We weren't heading toward Alston or any neighborhood I recognized. Where are we actually going? Jiwon glanced back. Our home. My stomach dropped. Your home? As in the Park family estate? As in the place where your entire terrifying Mafia family lives? Taejin grinned. Don't worry. Most of them are out of town. Probably. Probably? Hanul's hand settled on my knee, gentle, grounding. No one will hurt you there. We won't let them. Looking at him desperate. You can't promise that. His eyes met mine, dark, steady. Yes, I can. The bond flared, hot, insistent. My body wanted to lean into him, wanted to trust. But trust was expensive, and I'd already paid that price once. Don't make promises you can't keep. Silence, heavy. Then Jiwon spoke. We don't. I didn't respond, just turned back to the window, watched the city disappear behind us. 20 minutes later, we turned onto a private road, trees on both sides, wrought iron gates that opened automatically, a driveway that felt longer than my entire street. And then, the house. No, not a house, a mansion. 3 stories, stone and glass, lit up like something out of a movie. You've got to be kidding me. Taejin parked in front of the main entrance, killed the engine. Welcome home, Mila. This isn't my home. Hanul's voice was soft, almost sad. Not yet. The door locks clicked open. Jiwon stepped out first, opened my door, offered his hand. I stared at it. Every instinct screamed at me to run. But I was tired, so tired. And the bond. The bond wanted me to stay. I took his hand, let him help me out of the car. His grip was warm, steady. You're safe here. I'll decide that for myself. He almost smiled. Fair enough. We walked toward the entrance. The front door opened before we reached it. An older woman stood in the doorway, elegant, sharp eyes. She looked at me, then at the 3 brothers. So, you finally found him. My blood went cold. What? Jiwon's hand settled on the small of my back. Mila, this is our mother. Mother, this is Park Mila, our mate. The woman's smile widened. Welcome to the family, darling. We've been waiting for you. I took a step back, right into Hanul's chest. He steadied me with both hands on my shoulders, gentle, but firm enough that I couldn't bolt. Waiting for me? My voice came out flat, dangerous. How exactly were you waiting for someone you didn't know existed? The woman, their mother, tilted her head. Her smile didn't waver. A seer told us 3 years ago that our sons would find their mate in Boston, an Omega, powerful, running from something. She stepped aside, gestured into the house. She also said you'd be difficult. I'm starting to think she undersold it. Taejin laughed. I told you I liked him. Stop saying that. I pulled free from Hanul's grip, crossed my arms. So what, you've just been sitting around waiting for some random Omega to show up? That's not creepy at all. Jiwon moved to stand beside his mother. We've been preparing, making sure Boston was secure, that our territory was safe. That when you arrived, you'd have somewhere to go. How generous. Did it occur to any of you that maybe I wouldn't want to be part of this? The woman's expression softened, just slightly. It occurred to us. But the bond doesn't care what we want, does it? She looked at me, really looked. You felt it the moment you saw them, just like they felt you. You can fight it all you want, darling, but it won't change what you are to each other. I hated that she was right. Hated it. I don't even know you people. You don't know me. Anil stepped forward. Then let us learn. I turned to face him, met his eyes. Why? Why do you even want this? You're heirs to a mafia empire. You could have anyone. Why fight for someone who doesn't want to be here? His expression cracked, just for a second. Something raw beneath the surface. Because you're ours. And we've been empty without you. My throat tightened. The bond pulsed, aching. I looked away. I can't do this right now. Their mother nodded. Hanur, show him to the guest room. Let him breathe. She looked at me again. You're safe here, Mila. Whatever you're running from, it can't touch you inside these walls. But if you want to leave in the morning, no one will stop you. I didn't believe her, but I was too tired to argue. Hanul led me inside. The entryway was massive, marble floors, a chandelier that probably cost more than my entire life, stairs that curved up to the second floor. Yeah, this is totally normal. Just your average Tuesday night getting adopted by Mafia royalty. We climbed the stairs in silence, down a hallway lined with paintings, landscapes, portraits of stern-looking alphas. He stopped in front of a door, opened it. This is yours for tonight. I stepped inside. The room was bigger than my apartment. King-size bed, sitting area, windows overlooking what looked like gardens. This is a guest room? We don't do things halfway. I set my backpack down on the bed. Felt the exhaustion hit me all at once. Thank you. He didn't leave, just stood there, watching me. Can I ask you something? Depends on the question. What happened in Seoul? I froze. The air in the room felt too thin. I already told you. My pack tried to kill me. Why? I turned to face him. I told you that too, because I'm an Omega with abilities that shouldn't exist. Because I was dangerous. Were they right? My hands clenched into fists. About me being dangerous? Yeah, they were. He took a step closer. What happened, Mila? I could have lied, should have lied, but something about the way he was looking at me made the words spill out. There was another Omega, Junho. He was my best friend. He found out what I could do, what I was. And he told the pack Alpha. The Alpha decided I was too much of a risk, that an Omega Luna with telekinesis would destabilize the hierarchy. So he ordered Junho to poison me during the bonding ceremony. Hanul's expression darkened. Your best friend tried to kill you. He did kill me, or he thought he did. I drank the poison, felt it burn through my veins, collapsed in front of everyone. But my abilities kicked in. My body started fighting it, rejecting it. I woke up in the crematorium, still alive. Silence, heavy, suffocating. Hanul's hands were shaking. What did you do? I met his eyes. I walked back to the pack house. Found Junho in my room, going through my things. And I asked him why. My voice cracked. He said he didn't have a choice, that the Alpha would have killed his family if he refused. He was crying, begging me to forgive him. So I did. And then I crushed his windpipe with my mind. Anul didn't move, didn't recoil, just kept looking at me. He betrayed you. He was scared, and I killed him anyway. Then I set the pack house on fire and disappeared. They declared me dead because it was easier than admitting an Omega had murdered a packmate and escaped. I wrapped my arms around myself. So yeah, they were right to be afraid of me. I'm exactly the kind of monster they said I was. Hanul closed the distance between us, slowly, giving me time to move away. I didn't. He stopped right in front of me. You're not a monster. I killed someone. Someone I loved. Someone who tried to kill you first. That's not murder, Mila. That's survival. I looked up at him, tears burning in my eyes. It doesn't feel like survival. It feels like I'm broken. His hand lifted, hesitated, then settled against my cheek, warm, careful. Then let us help put you back together. The bond flared, hot, desperate. I wanted to lean into him, wanted to believe him, but the memory of Junho's face was still there. The sound of his breath stopping, the way his eyes went empty. I can't let you in just to have you break me worse. Hanul's hand dropped, but his eyes didn't leave mine. We won't. I know you don't believe that yet, but we'll prove it, however long it takes. I turned away, walked to the window, pressed my forehead against the cold glass. What if I can't be fixed? His voice came from behind me, close, but not touching. Then we'll love you broken. Something inside me cracked, just a little, just enough to hurt. I closed my eyes. I need to be alone. Okay. I heard him move toward the door, heard it open, then his voice, soft, final. We're right down the hall if you need us. The door closed and I was alone. I stood there for a long time, staring out at the gardens, at the trees, at the iron gates in the distance. What the hell am I doing? The bond hummed, quiet, persistent, like a heartbeat I couldn't ignore. This is going to destroy me. But I didn't leave. I stayed, and that scared me more than anything. I pushed away from the window, tried to breathe. The room felt too big, too quiet. The silence pressed against my ears like water. Okay, just calm down. I paced, 3 steps one way, turned, 3 steps back. My chest was tight. The bond hummed under my skin, restless, aching. This is insane. I grabbed my phone from my backpack, checked it. No missed calls, no texts, because there was no one to call me. No one who knew I existed anymore. Just me, alone. Like always. I sat on the edge of the bed, dropped my head into my hands. What am I supposed to do? A knock on the door, soft, hesitant. I didn't answer. The knock came again. Mila? Taejin. I sighed. I said I needed to be alone. I know, but you also haven't eaten anything tonight. And I'm really bad at following directions when I think someone's suffering. Despite everything, I almost smiled. Come in. The door opened. Taejin stepped inside carrying a tray. Soup, bread, tea. He set it down on the small table near the window. You don't have to eat it, but it's here if you want it. I stared at the tray. My stomach growled, traitor. Thank you. He didn't leave, just leaned against the wall, hands in his pockets. Hanul told us about Seoul. My jaw tightened. Of course he did. I'm not mad at you for what happened. You don't even know me. He smiled, sad. I know you've been alone for 3 years. I know you're terrified of letting anyone close. I know you think we're going to hurt you. He moved closer, sat down in the chair across from me. And I know what it's like to carry something so heavy you think it's going to crush you. I looked at him, really looked. He wasn't smiling anymore. What do you mean? He leaned back, stared at the ceiling. When I was 16, I killed someone too. My breath caught. What? It was an accident, sort of. There was a rival family. They sent someone to kill our father. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. The guy had a gun. I didn't. But I had a knife. He closed his eyes. I didn't mean to kill him. I just wanted him to stop. but I hit something vital. He bled out before the ambulance came. I was 16, and I watched someone die because of me. He opened his eyes, looked at me. So no, I don't think you're a monster. I think you did what you had to do to survive. Just like I did. Silence. Heavy, but not suffocating. Does it get easier? No, but it gets lighter, especially when you're not carrying it alone. I looked down at my hands, at the scars I'd gotten from climbing out of the crematorium, at the faint tremor I could never quite stop. I don't know how to let people in anymore. Taejin leaned forward. Then don't. Not all at once. Just let us stay close. Let us prove we're not going anywhere. And when you're ready, if you're ever ready, you can let us in. The bond pulsed. Warm. Insistent. I wanted to believe him. God, I wanted to. What if I'm never ready? He smiled, soft, real. Then we wait. Something in my chest loosened, just a fraction. I picked up the bowl of soup, took a sip. It was good, warm. Thank you. Anytime. He moved toward the door, stopped. For what it's worth, Mila, I'm really glad you're here. The door closed, and I sat there, holding the bowl, feeling something dangerously close to hope. I finished the soup, changed into the clothes someone had left folded on the dresser. Soft cotton shirt, sweatpants that were way too big but somehow perfect. They smelled like cedar, like hanul. Ugh, of course they did. I climbed into bed. The sheets were cool, smooth. I stared at the ceiling, tried to sleep, couldn't. The bond kept pulling, tugging me toward the door, toward them. This is ridiculous. I threw off the covers, stood up, paced again. I am not going to their rooms. I'm not. That's insane. The pull tightened. Ugh, I hate this. I opened the door. The hallway was dark, quiet. I padded down the hall barefoot, stopped in front of the first door. Light leaked out from underneath. I knocked, soft. The door opened immediately. Jiwon stood there, shirtless, wearing only sleep pants. I tried very hard not to stare. Failed. I can't sleep. His expression softened. Neither can we. He stepped aside. Come in. I hesitated, then stepped inside. The room was huge, but it wasn't a bedroom. It was a sitting room, with 3 doors leading off it. All 3 of them were there. Jiwon by the door, Hanul on the couch, Taejin in an armchair. All of them looked at me. The bond won't let me sleep. Hanul stood. It won't let us sleep either. It wants us close. I wrapped my arms around myself. I don't know what to do about that. Taejin smiled. Stay here, with us. Just for tonight. We won't touch you. Won't push. But maybe if we're in the same room, the bond will calm down enough for all of us to rest. I should have said no. Should have gone back to my room. But I was so tired, and the bond was screaming. Okay. Hanul moved to the couch, made space, patted the cushion beside him. I sat, carefully, leaving a foot of space between us. But even that felt too close. His scent wrapped around me. The bond hummed, satisfied. Jiwon sat on my other side, not touching, just close. Taejin stayed in the chair, but he was smiling. Better? I took a breath. The tightness in my chest eased. Just a little. Yeah. Better. We sat there, in silence, not talking, just existing. Together. And slowly, without meaning to, I leaned into Hanul's shoulder. He went still. Then carefully, so carefully, wrapped an arm around me. Is this okay? I should have said no, but instead I said, yeah. Jiwon's hand found mine, threaded our fingers together. I didn't pull away. Taejin watched us, his expression soft, content. Sleep, Mila. We've got you. And for the first time in 3 years, I believed it. My eyes drifted closed, the bond settled, warm, safe, and I slept. I woke up to voices, angry voices. My eyes cracked open. Early morning light filtered through the windows. I was still on the couch, still tucked against Hanul's side. His arm was around me. Jiwon's hand still held mine. But they were both awake, and they were glaring at someone standing in the doorway. An older man, tall, severe, wearing an expensive suit. His scent hit me like a slap. Pure alpha, dominant, commanding. Pack alpha. Explain. His voice was cold, sharp. Jiwon's grip on my hand tightened. Father, this is Mila, our mate. The man's eyes cut to me. I felt pinned, examined. A male omega. Not a question, a judgment. Hanul's arm tightened around me. Yes. The man's lip curled. And where exactly did you find this omega? Taejin stepped forward. He was working at Luminaire as a waiter. The judgment in the room thickened. So you brought home a random service worker and claimed him as your mate. My blood boiled. I pulled free from Hanul, stood. I have a name. The man's eyes narrowed. Excuse me? I said I have a name. It's Park Mila. And I'm not random. Recognition flashed across his face, then shock, then something darker. Park Mila, the dead Luna from Silvercrest. My stomach dropped. I'm not dead, obviously. He moved closer, fast, predatory. Silvercrest has been looking for you for 3 years. They want you back. Or they want you eliminated. Jiwon stood, placed himself between me and his father. That's not happening. The man laughed, bitter. You think you can protect them from an entire pack? From their allies? Silvercrest has connections everywhere. He looked at me. Including here. My heart stopped. What? Hanul was on his feet now, too. What are you saying? Their father smiled, cold, cruel. I'm saying we have a treaty with Silvercrest. A very lucrative treaty. And part of that treaty involves returning any escaped Omegas who seek refuge in our territory. The room went silent. I felt like I'd been punched. You're going to send me back? He shrugged. Business is business. Taejin stepped forward. He's our mate. That's our mate, Mila, not yours. Their father's expression didn't change. Then you have a choice to make, him or the family. The words hung in the air, heavy, final. I looked at the three of them, at Jiwon's clenched fists, at Hanul's devastated expression, at Taejin's barely controlled rage. And I knew what they would choose, because family was everything in this world. Blood, legacy, power. A random Omega they'd known for less than a day? I didn't stand a chance. I took a step back. It's fine. Hanul reached for me. Mila, no. It's fine. I've been running for 3 years. I can keep running. Jiwon grabbed my arm. We're not letting you go. I looked at him, at the desperation in his eyes. You don't have a choice. I won't let you destroy your family for me. Their father watched, amused. How noble. Something inside me snapped. I turned on him. You think this is funny? You think ruining your son's lives is entertaining? He raised an eyebrow. I think survival requires difficult choices. And sentimentality is a weakness I won't tolerate in my heirs. The air around me started to vibrate. Objects on the shelves trembled, my power leaking out. You're wrong. Love isn't weakness. It's the only thing that makes any of this worth surviving. A book flew off the shelf, slammed into the wall. Their father's eyes widened. You're telekinetic. I smiled, sharp, dangerous. Surprise! The room exploded into chaos. Every object not nailed down lifted into the air. Books, lamps, furniture, all of it hovering, spinning slowly. I am not some helpless Omega you can trade like property. I am Park Mila, and I survived my own pack trying to kill me. So if you think you can hand me over to Silvercrest without a fight? I let a chair slam into the wall. It shattered. Think again. Their father stared, shock, fear, then calculation. You're more valuable than I thought. My stomach turned. What? He smiled. Silvercrest wants you dead because you're dangerous. But if we keep you, train you, you could be an asset. Jiwon moved, fast, grabbed his father by the collar. He's not a weapon. He's our mate. Their father pushed him off. He's whatever I decide he is. And right now, I'm deciding he stays. Under guard. Until we determine his usefulness. Everything stopped. The floating objects, my breathing, my heart. No. Hanul stepped forward. Father, please, don't do this. The man ignored him, pulled out his phone, started typing. I'm calling security. They'll escort our guests to the secure wing. I looked at the three of them, at their broken expressions, at the way they were looking at me like I was already gone. And I made a choice. I'm sorry. Before anyone could react, I shoved. Not with my hands, with my mind. All three of them flew backward, slammed into the couch, pinned there by invisible force. They struggled, shouted, but I didn't let go. I'm sorry, but I can't let you choose me over everything you've built. I looked at their father, and I won't be your weapon. I ran, out the door, down the hall, down the stairs. Guards appeared. I threw them aside, didn't stop, couldn't stop. I hit the front door, shoved it open with my mind, ran into the early morning light, across the driveway, toward the gates. Behind me, I heard them, shouting my name, begging me to stop. But I didn't. I ran, like I always did, because running was the only thing I knew how to do. My feet hit pavement, cold, hard. I was barefoot, still wearing Hunrul's too big sweatpants and borrowed shirt. No phone, no wallet, no plan, just panic and the burn of the bond screaming at me to turn around. The gates loomed ahead, wrought iron, 12 feet tall, locked. Doesn't matter, you can do this. I threw my hand out. The gates shuddered, metal groaned, then they ripped apart. The lock shattered. Both sides swung wide. I ran through, hit the tree-lined road beyond, didn't look back. Couldn't. Because if I looked back, I'd see them. And if I saw them, I'd stop. I made it maybe half a mile before my legs gave out, collapsed onto the side of the road, gravel bit into my knees. My chest felt like it was splitting open. The bond, it was screaming, tearing at me from the inside. Every step away from them felt like ripping off my own skin. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. But sorry didn't fix anything. Sorry didn't change what their father was, what I was. A weapon, a liability, a dead Omega who should have stayed dead. Footsteps behind me, fast. I scrambled to my feet, turned, ready to fight, to run, to do whatever it took. But it wasn't guards. It wasn't their father. It was them. All three of them, running toward me like their lives depended on it. Jiwon in front, Hanul and Taejin flanking, no shoes, barely dressed, hair wild, eyes frantic. I took a step back. No, don't. You can't. Jiwon didn't stop, didn't slow down. He crashed into me, arms wrapping around me so tight I couldn't breathe. Don't you ever run from us again. Let me go, gripping my shoulders. No. His eyes were wild, terrified. Do you have any idea what that felt like? Feeling you run? Feeling the bond tear? Hanul and Taejin caught up, both of them breathing hard. Taejin's hands were shaking. We thought we lost you. You should lose me. Your father is right. I'm dangerous. I'm wanted. I'll destroy everything you've built. Hanul moved closer, cupped my face in both hands. Then let it burn. I froze. What? Jiwon's grip on my shoulders tightened. You heard him. If choosing you means losing the family, we choose you. If it means walking away from everything we've ever known, we choose you. Taejin stepped closer, completed the circle around me. You're not a weapon, Mila. You're not a liability. You're ours. And we don't abandon what's ours. The bond pulsed, hot, desperate, aching. You don't mean that. You barely know me. Hanul's thumb brushed away a tear I didn't know had fallen. I know you're brave. I know you survived something that should have killed you. I know you've been carrying guilt and fear for 3 years and you're still standing. Jiwon's voice was rough. I know you'd rather run than let us get hurt. I know you think you're broken. But all I see is someone strong enough to keep going even when the world tried to bury you. Taejin smiled, soft, sad. I know you laugh when you're nervous. I know you bite your lip when you're thinking. I know you're scared of being seen. But we see you, Mila, and we're not looking away. Something inside me shattered, not broke, shattered, like glass hitting concrete. All the walls I'd built, all the armor I'd wrapped around myself, gone. I killed someone. I burned down a pack house. I'm dangerous. Jiwon pulled me closer. Good. We're dangerous too. We'll be dangerous together. I collapsed into him. Let him hold me. Let them all hold me. And for the first time since Seoul, since Junho, since everything fell apart, I let myself feel it. The grief, the guilt, the loneliness, all of it. And they didn't let go. They held tighter. We stood there, on the side of the road, barefoot and broken and together, until my sobs quieted, until I could breathe again. Hanul's voice was soft. Come home. I pulled back, looked at him. Your father will never allow it. Jiwon's smile was sharp, dangerous. Our father doesn't get a vote anymore. I blinked. What? Taejin grinned. We quit. Well, not officially yet, but we will. We're done taking orders from someone who treats people like assets. My heart stopped. You can't do that. You're heirs. The family needs you. Jiwon shrugged. The family will survive. We're not the only parks in Boston. But you? He looked at me. Really looked. You're the only you. And we're not losing you. The bond sang, bright, fierce, undeniable. What about Silvercrest? What about the treaty? Hanul's expression darkened. Let them come. We'll handle it. Taejin's grin widened. Besides, you're telekinetic, and we're very good at making problems disappear. Together, we're unstoppable. I wanted to argue, wanted to tell them they were insane, but looking at their faces, at the absolute certainty in their eyes, I knew. They meant it, every word. And maybe, just maybe, I could believe them. Okay. Jiwon's eyes widened. Okay. I nodded. Okay. I'll stay. But not at the estate. Not with your father. Hanul smiled. We'll find somewhere else. Somewhere that's just ours. Taejin grabbed my hand, threaded our fingers together. See? Problem solved. I laughed. It came out shaky but real. You're all completely insane. Jiwon pressed his forehead to mine. Only for you. And standing there, surrounded by 3 alphas who'd just thrown away their entire legacy for me, I finally understood. The bond wasn't a curse. It was a choice, and they'd chosen me. Now I just had to choose them back. We walked back to the estate together, not running this time, walking, side by side. Jiwon's hand in mine, Taejin on my other side. Hanul slightly behind, like he couldn't stop watching me, making sure I was real. The gates were still broken, twisted metal hanging at awkward angles. Sorry about that, Taejin laughed. Are you kidding? That was incredible. Remind me never to make you angry. Too late for that. Their father was waiting in the entryway, arms crossed, expression cold. 2 guards flanked him. I stopped walking. The 3 of them stepped in front of me, a wall, a shield. Jiwon's voice was ice. Move. Their father's eyes narrowed. You're making a mistake. All of you. Hanul's jaw tightened. The only mistake was listening to you for this long. The man's expression twisted, rage barely contained. If you walk out that door with him, you're no longer my sons. You're no longer Parks. you'll have nothing. Silence. Heavy. Final. Then Taejin smiled. Bright. Reckless. Good. Because we don't want to be part of a family that treats people like commodities. He looked back at me. We'd rather have him. Their father's control snapped. You ungrateful. He lunged forward. The guards moved with him. I didn't think, just reacted. My hand shot out. All three of them froze mid-step, suspended, held by invisible force. Don't touch them. Their father's eyes went wide. Shock, fear. You. I told you I'm not helpless. I told you I survived my pack trying to kill me. Did you really think I'd let you hurt the people I stopped, swallowed. The people I care about? Jiwon turned, looked at me. You care about us? I met his eyes. The bond hummed, warm, certain. Yeah, I do. I don't know how it happened so fast, but I do. Hanul's hand found my free one, squeezed gently. The bond. It knew before we did. I nodded. Maybe. Or maybe you're just really hard to walk away from. Taejin grinned. We've been told we're charming. I wouldn't go that far. I released their father and the guards. They stumbled. The older man caught himself against the wall, breathing hard, staring at me like I was a ghost. I stepped forward, met his eyes. I'm leaving. They're coming with me. And if you or Silvercrest or anyone else tries to come after us, I let a vase shatter against the wall. You'll regret it. Their father straightened, tried to regain composure. You think you can survive out there? 3 heirs with no family, no resources? Jiwon stepped beside me. We have resources. Accounts you don't control. Properties you don't know about. We've been preparing for this longer than you think. Hanul nodded. We always knew there might come a day when we'd have to choose. We just didn't know what we'd be choosing until we met him. Their father's expression hardened. Then go. But don't come back. You're dead to this family. Taejin's smile didn't waver. Works for us. Come on, Mila. Let's get out of here. We walked out together, through the front door, across the driveway, through the broken gates. I didn't look back. None of us did. Because forward was the only direction that mattered now. We ended up at a hotel in Cambridge, small, quiet, nothing like the estate, but it was ours. The room had 2 beds. Taejin immediately claimed one, flopped down with a dramatic sigh. This is actually kind of exciting. We're fugitives now. You're insane. You say that like it's a bad thing. Jiwon was on the phone, making arrangements, moving money, securing properties, being efficient and terrifying. Hanul sat beside me, close but not touching. Are you okay? I thought about it, really thought. I don't know. Everything's different now. Yeah, is that bad? I looked at him, at his steady eyes, his patient expression. No, just scary. He smiled. We're scared too, but we'll figure it out, together. That word again, together. I'd been alone for so long I'd forgotten what it felt like. To have people, to have someone care if I disappeared. It was terrifying and wonderful and completely overwhelming. Jiwon finished his call, sat on my other side. We're secure for now. I've got people monitoring for any movement from Silvercrest. We'll know if they're coming. I nodded. Thank you for this, for everything. He looked at me. You don't have to thank us. We're exactly where we want to be. Taejin sat up. Okay, but can we talk about how you literally ripped gates apart with your mind? Because that was the hottest thing I've ever seen. Oh my God, stop. I'm serious. I think I fell even more in love. The room went quiet. He froze. I mean, not that. I didn't mean... Hanul's hand found mine. It's okay if you did. I looked at him, then at Jiwon, then at Taejin. The bond pulsed, warm, certain, inevitable. I think I might be falling too. Is that insane? We just met. Jiwon's thumb brushed across my knuckles. The bond doesn't care about timelines. It just knows. Hanul leaned closer. Can I kiss you? My breath caught. Yeah. He kissed me, soft, careful, like I was something precious. The bond ignited. Heat flooded through me. Not just desire, belonging. When he pulled back, I was shaking. Oh, Taejin grinned. My turn? You're ridiculous. But I kissed him anyway, and it felt just as right. Jiwon waited, patient, until I turned to him. You too. His kiss was different, controlled, intense, like he'd been holding back and finally let go. When we broke apart, all three of them were looking at me. And I realized I wasn't scared anymore. I choose you, all of you. I don't know what happens next, but I choose this. The bond settled, complete, whole, and for the first time in 3 years, I felt like I was home. Epilogue. After the storm. 6 months later, I stood in the kitchen of our new place, a brownstone in South Boston we'd bought under a shell company. 3 stories, brick facade, garden out back, nothing like the estate. Perfect. Coffee was brewing, morning light streamed through the windows. I was wearing one of Hanul's shirts. Again. At this point, half my wardrobe was stolen from them. Not that they complained. Arms wrapped around me from behind, Taejin's chin settled on my shoulder. Morning. Morning. You're up early. Couldn't sleep without you. The bed's too cold. You have 2 other alphas in there. Not the same. I kissed him, quick, soft. Still felt like magic every time. The bond hummed. Satisfied. Complete. It had taken weeks for it to fully settle, for the constant ache to fade into something warm and steady. Now it was just there. A presence. A comfort. A reminder that I wasn't alone anymore. Footsteps on the stairs. Jiwon appeared, already dressed, hair perfect. Are you 2 ever going to let him finish making coffee? Nope, Jiwon shook his head, but he was smiling. He'd smiled more in the last 6 months than probably his entire life before. Hanul came down last, still half asleep, grabbed the coffee I'd poured. You're a saint. I know. We sat at the table together, the 4 of us, like we did every morning. It had become routine, normal, this life we'd built from nothing. Jiwon's phone buzzed. He checked it, expression darkening. My stomach tightened. What is it? He looked up. Silvercrest. They found us. 6 months ago, that would have sent me into a panic, would have had me packing a bag and running. But now? I took a sip of coffee. Are they coming here? Yes. They're Alpha, plus a small delegation. They'll be here this afternoon. Hanul's hand found mine under the table. We don't have to let them in. Taejin's expression hardened. We can make them leave. Jiwon just watched me, waiting. Because this was my choice, my past, my decision. I took a breath. Let them come. It's time I stopped running. They arrived at 3, black SUVs, professional, intimidating. We met them in the living room. I stood between my mates, flanked, protected, but not hidden. The Silvercrest Alpha walked in first, older now, grayer, but I'd recognize him anywhere. Alpha Kang, the man who'd ordered my death. He stopped when he saw me. Shock flickered across his face, then something else. Regret? Alpha Kang. He inclined his head. Luna Park. Or should I say, former Luna. Just Mila is fine. Silence. Tense. Charged. Then he sighed. I came to apologize. I blinked. Excuse me? He gestured to the couch. May I sit? I nodded, still wary, still ready to fight. He sat, looked at his hands. 3 years ago, I made a decision based on fear. I saw your abilities as a threat to Pack's stability. I was wrong. He looked up, met my eyes. Juno told me before he died that you were the strongest person he'd ever known. He said killing you was the worst thing he'd ever done. And he was right. My throat tightened, hearing Junho's name still hurt. Would probably always hurt. But the sharp edge of guilt had dulled, softened by time, by therapy, by 3 alphas who refused to let me carry it alone. Why are you telling me this? Alpha Kang straightened. Because Silvercrest was wrong to exile you, wrong to try to kill you. And I'm here to offer you a place back in the pack, if you want it. I stared. Then I started laughing. Couldn't help it. You tried to have me murdered. And now you want me to come back? He had the grace to look ashamed. I understand if you refuse. But the offer stands. You were born Silvercrest. You'll always have a place there. I looked at Juan, at Hanul, at Taejin, at the life we'd built, the home we'd made. Then back at Alpha Kang. I appreciate the apology, but I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I don't need Silvercrest anymore. I have a pack right here. Juan's hand squeezed mine. Hanul's arms settled around my waist. Taejin grinned. Alpha Kang nodded, slow, understanding. Then I'm glad you found them. He stood. If you ever change your mind, the door's open. But I won't bother you again. He left, and with him, the last shadow of my past. I turned to my mates. So, what now? Taejin grinned. Now we live. Hanul kissed my temple. Happily. Jiwan pulled me close. Ever after. And standing there surrounded by 3 alphas who'd chosen me over everything, who'd loved me through the broken pieces, who'd helped me build something beautiful from the ashes. I finally believed it. This was home. They were home. And I was never running again. The end. Thank you for staying with us through Mila's journey.